Tonight on Red Eye.
Coming up on Red Eye, an evil minivan forcing two innocent men to get out on the side of the highway with nowhere to go. We've got tips on how to stop your car from doing the same to you. Plus, why did the president recently start collecting Pokemon trading cards?
I had never seen anything like that before, so I thought I'd get started this week. I figured, why wait?
And finally, did these teens break a world record while waiting in line for days to meet Greg Gutfeld? And what are co-eds saying about the exclusive Not Cool hoodie?
I like the fact that it's affordable and it's cute, because I'm a college student, you know, I can't go spend $100 for a shirt.
None of these stories on Red Eye tonight.
That's not real. And now, let's welcome our guests. Well, she's cuter than a basket of kittens inside a basket made of kittens. I'm here tonight with National Review reporter Katherine Timpf. And if these walls could talk, they'd say, "Quit stumbling into me, you horrible little drunk." It's Joanne Osachinsky. And I guess the best thing I could say about him is that he's not Paul Mercurio. It's TV's Andy Levy. And he's back after a lengthy tour of the help wanted ads. Sitting right next to me, actor, writer, comedian, Paul Mercurio. And like everyone with a laptop and an irrational desire to be heard, he also has a podcast. It's on something called iTunes, and it's called, you guessed it, The Paul Mercurio Show. This week's episode features Larry the Cable Guy. My, how the mighty have fallen.
A-Block, the lead. That's the first story.
That should drive a lot of people my way. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Okay. Have we caved to the depraved? With the Paris killers still at large, more idiots are suggesting that Charlie Hebdo brought this hell on itself. Reason.com writer and Red Eye guest Anthony Fisher compiled a list of jackasses who, after denouncing the murders, shift the blame to those who put out a, quote, provocative, racist, and Islamophobic magazine. One example, a feminist blogger put it best/worst. I don't think that shooting up the Charlie Hebdo office was ethically right with a capital R, okay? But I do think it's understandable. Oh, well, thank you for that. And then there's the cleric, Muslim cleric, and my squash partner, Anjem Chowdhury. In an op-ed in the USA Today, I know, they're heads. He wrote, Muslims consider the honor of the Prophet Muhammad to be dearer to them than that of their parents or even themselves. To defend it is considered to be an obligation upon them. And then quotes Muhammad, whoever insults a prophet, kill him. Well, there's a God for you. Anyway, on Thursday, Charlie Hebdo announced it will publish a special edition next week, their biggest you to radical Islam yet. Meanwhile, one of Al-Qaeda's wives appeared in a video in which he promises more attacks. Take a look.
He's on my podcast next week.
Oh, really? Suddenly I feel bad for him. Hey, Catherine, the Muslim cleric blames the French government for not stopping the magazine from provoking Muslims. Does he have a point, and is that point stupid?
Oh, yeah, and, you know, totally. If you make a cartoon someone doesn't like, you can totally expect to get your face blown off. That's the way people... It's crazy, because... It's one thing to, you know, say that you can't make fun of anybody. That's suppressing free speech. It's a whole other thing to say you can't make fun of this one group because they might want to kill you. That's literally handing power to people who want to kill you and only to people who want to kill you. I don't see how people don't understand that, but I guess, you know, there were a lot of microaggressions in the cartoon.
Yes.
Could see how, you know, no, you can't. I don't know how anybody can actually say this stuff. It's ridiculous.
So, Paul, the French newspaper had this one group that wanted to kill them. You know what this feels like, except it's many groups. Usually your audience, after your terrible jokes fall flat.
Like that one?
No, but you are a performer.
Yes.
This is what you do for a living.
Yes.
You must have some strong feelings that are articulated well in your brain that you can probably formulate.
Did you get shorter since I've seen you last? No, listen, there's obviously... you know, you wanting the French government to clamp down on this would just make the French government an arm of the extremist Muslims, okay?
Good point.
And this goes back to, remember Piss Christ, where there was a crucifix, okay? And the APs didn't want to show that picture. And the APs pulled all these pictures. So the AP, because the AP said they don't want to be deliberately provocative with photos.
Yeah.
Well, there's another term for deliberately provocative photos. They're called news photos, okay?
Yes.
We don't want to provoke anybody to understanding the news. So people are starting to cave, and I think the interview and what happened with the interview and Sony and the theater's not showing it emboldened these people to do this. I think they saw that there was some caving to threats, and it sort of gave them the oomph to do this.
That's an interesting point, and it does. The argument that if you show the photos, you're going to endanger your coworkers. I said this on the 5. It's like it's not like they're going to pull back if you don't show the photos.
Right.
They're already going to
They're
kill
bad
you.
guys.
Yeah,
okay?
ISIS
They're
is
not like, okay, well,
when they
you're so sweet. Let's go to a party together.
Yeah, when they kidnap somebody from wherever, and they go, oh, wait, did you show the photos or not? That's not going to be on the list. Joanne, when the cleric said he was quite honest about his view of Islam, that if you slander Islam, you die. At least he's being honest, right? He's not saying it's a religion of peace.
Yes, but that doesn't make it okay.
No, I understand.
So yeah, that's the issue there. Also, the thing is with these the satirical cartoons and everything, it wasn't just one religion that was targeted.
Right.
So we don't see any groups from any other religions having issues. So is it offensive?
Right.
Yeah, but it's been offensive to a bunch of different people.
I'm a big Pope John Paul fangirl, and I was, I saw him get attacked.
Yeah,
they have the hat.
And I do hope, though, that with this next issue that they're releasing, it isn't just specifically, again, this one group. I get that's why you want to do it. You want to direct it at them to say we're stronger than, and this is honoring the victims. But again, it should include everyone, because that's what good satire is. It focuses on lots of different people.
And blaspheme should be, no one should be invulnerable to blaspheme, especially when what you're blaspheming is a belief. It's a faith that no one else has to actually carry. Therefore, their one man's blasphemy is another one's belief. Okay, Andy, I'm going to posit a theory to you that I disagree with, but I was thinking about this today.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about that movie with Patton Oswalt, big fan. And I was thinking about what if you took it out of the realm of religion and put it into sport? So you're a rabid Oakland Raider fan, and for years I am just sitting there like in big fan, just constantly harassing you, telling you that the Raiders are awful, and then I taunt you, and I also know you're crazy. I know you're crazy about the Oakland Raiders, but I keep taunting you, telling you horrible things, and then finally you just say, screw it, I'm going to kill you.
Right.
Is that like this?
I have talking points that I would like to get to. So I'm just
I was trying to come at this from a different devil's advocate.
Is this a 2-part episode based on the link of that question?
Stop listening halfway through. I have no idea.
Is it that bad of a question?
No, I'm thinking. The gears are turning.
No. The thing is as I said last night, there's no exception for religious belief.
Yeah.
Just as there's no exception for political beliefs, there's no exception for sports beliefs.
Right. That's my point.
It is the same thing. But right now there's all this but going around.
Right.
I support free speech, but no, you don't. Then you don't support free speech. Killing extremists or killing cartoonists is wrong, but there's no but there. Paul Mercurio is a lousy comedian, but there's no
Wait a minute.
There's no but there.
I'm right at the table.
But
Are you, though?
According to the Moscow Times had an article saying that the main Muslim leadership group in Russia says, and they're doing the same thing. They say, although terrorism is indefensible, but they say perhaps the sin of provocation is no less dangerous for the preservation of peace than the sin of those who are capable of succumbing to that provocation. Insulting the feelings of the faithful is unacceptable. There's only one proper response to that, and it's go yourself.
Yes.
I mean, it literally is the only proper response. But
you could have not used the F word.
But you have to. I honestly you have to.
Oh, now that's four.
No, I honestly think you have to in a situation like this. But another thing I pointed out last night, though, this insane belief that insulting people's feelings should be against the law, let's not pretend that this is limited to Muslim extremists.
Yeah.
Some of them may end up killing people, but the against the law part is
it's around.
It's around. Nick Gillespie noted at Reason on Thursday, a poll taken last fall in America, 36% of Americans support hate speech laws. Only 38% oppose them. This honestly scares me more than a terrorist attack. Criminalizing offensive speech, Europe's already gone down that path.
Right.
To me, that's a far greater existential danger to freedom than terrorism
But some of the networks and like AP, they're kind of caving to this, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Sony, it's sort of across the board. And, the other thing that these extremists always point to, like Chaudhry, is, certain parts of the Quran they like to cite to bolster their point of view, but others they don't. Because there's another part of the Quran that says, thou shalt not have a voice louder than the prophet. And you could argue that when you're blowing people up over cartoons, that you have a voice that's louder than the prophet and not what was intended in the Quran.
You're a secret Muslim.
You know what I'm saying?
I knew it all the time.
And what else is fascinating to me is that witnesses say that these terrorists yelled, you can tell the media that it's Al-Qaeda in Yemen.
Making it pretty
So,
clear.
I mean, you're making it clear that you're trying to spread fear throughout the world. This isn't just about religion. This is about an act of terror.
But the cartoon was kind of mean.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
They should have made
come on.
T-shirts so they didn't have to yell that out.
Yeah, that's true. It saves
Signs.
a lot of time.
Exactly.
All right.
Just a little list.
Calligraphy.
Do I have anything else I want to add to this? I think we've gone over
Don't
this
you
quite
have
well.
another 7-minute question?
No, you know what? That hurts.